Presenting you another what if. Sorry for skipping that one, I will work on it later. Now let's see. What if Naruto was the hatred gamer? How did this start? How did it happen? And more importantly, why the fuck I'm doing it? I don't know, I'm bored. And the voices fucking started. Why do it start when I fucking record? Whatever, let's just continue. So as I was fucking saying, how did it start? Because I was lazy. I was too lazy to say how. Well, I will just create a shit story. How did it start? Well, let's go to Naruto's point of view. Now everything I say after these words will be for Naruto. I was sitting in front of Sasuke. We both had our our last fight, and now it will be the last. I saw that Sakura was worrying about Sasuke more than me. I wondered, well, she had a crush on him, so it's expected. So, let's say it. Because of that, I started to go and start with him the fight. The first thing we did was a full-on taijutsu battle that wasn't very fucking big. And after this we started a random fight, and after those fights until we reached for the Susanoo. We did both of our attacks. My attack surprisingly hit him in the chest, surpassing the Susanoo, and it hurt him a lot. After this he came to the ground, and I said to him, exhausted fully of the battle, "Fine, you're here, let's go home." And he smiled at me and he said, "Alright, let's go." But after this I felt a pain in my stomach. I looked down to see that Sakura had pierced me with a needle that can destroy all organs. I looked at him and said, "Why?" And she said, "Because I fucking love my Sasuke, can you, demon?" When I heard that I felt betrayed, mashed, looked down upon by the one I called my love. And Sasuke looked at me with sympathy. No, it was shock. He looked at Sakura then with absolute rage and he said, "Why, you idiot? He has done nothing to you." After this he raged and killed her while I felt my soul being zapped away. While I felt my soul zapped away, I entered the abyss, the place where nothing and everything was there, and I saw people drawing things and then tossing it in the trash. One of them said, "Ah, damn it, these universes are trash." I then looked at them and they looked at me and they said, "Ah, another mortal. Just sit there and wait until John comes and takes your soul." I looked at them with curiosity. They draw things that they called universes, worlds. Yes, probably higher beings than Kaguya. Yeah, and everyone else in my world. And then I saw that one of them was bored a lot, and he said, "I'm bored, why don't we do something entertaining?" They all looked at me, and they all smiled. I actually backed away from that smile. But then I was too late. I was absorbed by the abyss. I had no memories. I had no clue what happened in my old life. I had no memories of my techniques and stuff. But the only thing I remembered was that moment when I was betrayed. The moment when I was stabbed in the back. The moment when I was killed by that bitch. And then I looked up seeing that I was in a room with another kid. It was a girl. Well, it didn't look like it, but from my experience in my old life that I forgot everything about, I know that she was a girl. And then I started saying in my mind, I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. All I know that I must kill that bitch and thank these guys that make me able to do my revenge. After about 9 months, I was released from that dirty womb, and I was in the hand of a redhead woman. She looked like a very caring one, and actually was called Mother. I didn't know what that meant, but I felt like it had a very important thing to have with me. I wondered what it was. I didn't know what it was. And then suddenly I blacked out, and I waked up seeing that I was 8 years old. I had all the knowledge of what I did, and I grit my teeth and I said, seriously? When I blacked out, my body did all these useless shits. I need to come stronger to kill that bitch. I don't need some fucking games. And then I had a message up in front of me. Host, do you want to take the guidance of the system? I said, I don't know what are you, or what the hell are you, or who are you, but I know that you are something these guys sent to help me with my revenge. So he pressed yes, and then he saw another message come out. It said, host, first let's know your things. Strength is the overall power you have for your entire body, even all the muscles in your body, even the eyes. Vitality, it's your durability and regeneration and stamina and lifetime. The more you have it, the more this increases. Endurance, same as vitality but more focused on durability and stamina. Dexterity, everything about speed, even perception and the stuff. CP, chakra points. It's the amount of chakra you have. The more you have the more you can access more jutsu, and the harder to get more chakra control. Because of the system, you won't get your chakra control down, but it will be harder to gain it. So I advise you to gain perfect chakra control and then add your points into it. Intelligence is the amount of intelligence you have. It will increase your chakra points and mana, and your mana and your amount and your affinity for mana and your affinity for chakra and all the other things about it. Wisdom is just like it, but it's about the increase of regeneration and wi- and immunity to chakra and mana attack. Not what I said. So this is how I have it. So if I am right, if I want more and more power, I should go with strength. If I want an invincible body, I should go for with vitality. If I want speed, then I should go for with dexterity. If I want being an omega invincible guy, then I should go with vitality and endurance. And if I want to be balanced, then I should go with all. That's exactly what I want to be. Now, give me the power. Wait, did you say mana? Doesn't that mean that CP should be energy instead of chakra points, since I will have more energies in the future? I am surprised you catch that. Right. For catching that, you will get 1 wisdom point. When it given me 1 wisdom point, I felt that my wisdom didn't change that much. It was just a small boost. But still, if I had to do that normally, it would have taken months. Very good. With this, I will rule the world and get revenge of that bitch. Now to my point of view. First of all, I will make him have his ability to travel between dimensions and universes like the gamer one, but instead the life will be harder than him. He will have to work way harder and he won't be as OP. Understand? But in the end, it will make him proud of his work. So let's just start with the story. After this, Naruto started doing some bunch of wise stuff, getting his wisdom to 17. When he was bored, he told the system to show him his stats. He saw that all of his stats were 10. Expect wisdom was 17. And he saw that his CP, that his energy was actually 50. And then he gained a skill from that. It said low energy reserves. With that you have 50% more energy, 50% more energy regeneration, and yup. So I was hiding. So I tried that crazy shit I did. I've seen that shit and they said, damn, I'm weak. All of them expect energy and wisdom are that of a normal human. How much is my energy? It's beyond that of a normal shinobi. Around how I tune into Lokage. That's not good. So that was just because of that is not good. So there's like how does I? That's not very fucking good. What about the bonuses? Medium kage. Good. Not good. If I want more of my memories and stuff, I need more power. After the season, he goes away and then he reached home where he met his sister. His sister was very shocked and we saw her name and her level and her title. It was Jinjuriki of the QB. And he said in his mind, they confused me for her. Still, I wanted like her getting hurt. So I will continue by that. He's not QB Jinjuriki. And also, I make the Uzumaki genes very limited until he completes more and more to make it more fair. Because come on, in the shop he can buy powers of other worlds. But to make it more fair, he will have to master them. You can use the shadow clone later, yeah, but still. I loved how this shit happened. Not to continue with that shit, and he started training. He increased strength by 4, and he saw that increasing strength increased all the muscles in his body, so he was slightly faster and more durable. He was more faster and durable and including stronger, but no one knew how fast and durable he was if he upgraded from the main one. So he started training more. That's why you say he gets all that and he actually. Okay, let's continue with that shit, and he started saying things like, oh, I wonder why I don't train vitality. First time, do you have a way to train vitality? It said, system is not on babysitting mode, not to growth, and he said, fine, I will show you that I can become more powerful than you. All of you. He then started running around one good for an entire day, getting his vitality up by 2 and getting his dexterity by 4. He looked at his current stat. They weren't much, but at least they were far better than what he had. So he continued to the library. It was time. He used his decent sneaking skill to get in. He started reading books and books, making his intelligence increase more. After about 2 days, he got out because his intelligence was now 20. He then tried to form something, but he formed it. It was a mega blast. He shot it for a normal blast, and he saw that it got through the wall, and he said, hell yeah! So fast. Let's start comparing Naruto to the first. No, we will do that later. After he did that, he then goes away to do something, and then he got something from the system. It said, you leveled up to level 2 with non-stopping working. This gives you the skills ID create and ID escape. One Naruto saw the description of the skills. one of the first description was easy. Create an empty dimension where you can train. And he said, an empty dimension just for me? That's not good. If I want more XP, I should farm with mobs. So he started going on and on and out from that dimension until finally he gained the level that allowed him to get to the zombie dimension. Because of that, he looked around. He saw no one, and then he said, with his wrist hunted with mana, I create. Well, not together, he saw a city destroyed. All life was empty. There was fire everywhere. But then he smelled something. It smelled like rotten flesh and stuff. He looked around and then he saw an army of ugly green-skinned people. These were the zombies. He looked at the massive army of zombies and he said, shit, run bitch, run. After this he ran into the building. He got to his side, gaining one dexterity, and he said, how can I defeat this army? Me and survive. I'd escape, but he couldn't, because he should defeat the army first, and he said, fuck, if I can't take down an army of these, then how can I get my revenge? He sighed. Then he said, I have to make a plan. He saw the equipment around. He smiled. Then he started going and he started equipping and crafting, getting the skill crafting, and also getting blend weapon mastery because he swung the weapon around a little bit. After this, he started seeing the zombies get in the building, and he said, I'm ready for you bitches. After this, he jumped out of the building swinging in the last moment to not get hurt because of the fall damage. Then he started swinging around to get to the zombies. He started shooting mana blast everywhere and everywhere and everywhere. But then after about 50 of the zombies, his mana was starting to regenerate because it was low. He said, come on. But then he looked at the XP again. He saw that he leveled up about 3 levels. He saw that he had 15 points. He should choose wisely. He didn't choose any of them because he should first of all train his stats normally and then get them in. So because of this, he goes away, and then he saw that the zombies were chasing him, and then he did the next part of his plan. He threw away grenades that were made of some explosive powder. Because of this, it exploded on them, and after this came the next part of the plan. He got out the sword that he made. It was not from good metals, but it was better than enough to cut through the zombies. Because of this, he started cutting through the zombies, getting more and more XP as he cut through it. But then a zombie managed to get him down. The zombies surrounded him, ready to eat him. Then after all those evils, it was his end. But then he had an idea. But then he saw something that he couldn't see. It was a white screen, and these words were flying around it. The words were, I won't die. And then it disappeared. He waked up seeing that his mana pool was full, and it looked like time didn't even move. So he saw that the zombies were still approaching, and he did what he had to do to survive. He created a massive mana blast, and he shot it to the ground. His idea was that he could pawn that that because of because it was his own spell, it won't hurt him, and he was right. It did hurt him. It hurt all the zombies, killing the hundreds of them. He looked at his health. He saw that it passively increased because the level passively increased anyways, so he couldn't. So he thought that it was very few, and he said in relief, "Phew, I almost died there, you bastards." He got out of the fast. Well, he tried to go out, but the force pulled him toward it. It was so after this shit. No, not okay. Not with a bunch of XP. A bunch of XP that can make him live with it for a while. At least if he didn't upgrade it. So he came back and started the training. But as I mentioned, before he could leave, he was pulled by someone. It was the Ancient One from Marvel. So, as the Ancient One said to him, I've never seen such thing. Normally, a sorcerer needs to draw dimensional energy, but you have your own energy. I wonder why. Not to go sweats as he saw her name. It was the Ancient One, level unknown, the Sorcerer Supreme, and he said, calm down, old hag. We can work things out. I don't want to fight you because you're elf. Your level is literally unknown. The Ancient One looked at him with curiosity, and she said, what are you? Naruto lied quickly. A human? And she used that for a second, and she said, don't lie to me. I can sense your lies. Fine. I am a reincarnated creature. I don't know my past. I don't know what I did, but I know the person that betrayed me. And I want power to kill that bitch. And I somehow gained the power to live my life as something called a video game. And you are not from this world, are you? The Sorcerer Supreme said, well, I don't sense lies, and yes, I'm not from this world. So, I will tell you, I'm from a world where there is a lot of things, and being reincarnated and losing your memories isn't the weirdest thing. And he said, okay. And then he had a quest. It said, learn magic from the Ancient One. He then looked at her and said, can you teach me magic, please? And she said, let's see. Promise me that you won't be evil and you won't do anything bad. I promise you. But I will use that power to avenge my old self. Fair enough. After this, she teleported him into her universe and she said, "Come here later. I will give you a ring that will teleport you here anytime you want. When you come here, come into the inside and I will start teaching you. You have 3 days. Come back and show me how strong you can be. And if you become strong enough, then you can become a Sorcerer Supreme. While I will study about video games to know just what exactly that ability of yours is." Okay. And then she returned him to the Naruto world where Naruto just breathes normally and he said, Phew, phew. If this old hag know about my power and how much it can be dangerous, and if she thinks I'm a future such would have killed me, and I don't think that these guys will give me another chance, and I don't want to take my luck a lot. Then after this he was inside and he hurry up opened the hats and put all of them in strength, making his strength reach 30. He saw the increase in strength and he saw that he could change it to not look super buff. So he changed it into a Bruce Lee type muscles. Doesn't look very muscular on the outside, but on the inside has very good muscles. And then he started training and also going into the dungeons to gain something. After about the 3 days were ended, he actually gained a lot. All of his stats were now 30. Well, if you ignored energy because he didn't improve it, and he didn't want to improve it until he becomes as strong as the other stats become as strong as it was. So he started moving and he got into the library, but before that he saw a villager and he said, "Hey kid, why don't you come to Papa?" Naruto thought that his strength was at least 5 times that of a normal human, but he was wrong. It was 20 times more than a normal human. So he straight up punched him in the guts with full power, and the man was sent flying. Naruto was surprised at this, and then he looked at his fist and he said, "Damn, system, what is everything about me expect energy? 20 times that of a normal human? What the fuck? So that means everyone's stat is 1 times more? No, but it depends on you. For example, like that, if you got 64 times if you got to 64, then you would be at least 1,000, if not way more, if not more, stronger than a normal human. That's very fucking good. So, mind explaining to me what the hell am I gonna do with the old hag? The system isn't in babysitting mode. I should have expected that. I will just go to her for her and show her the skills I created. Because you actually gained some skills. As Mana Blast actually leveled up to level 18, he created a skill called Mana Bullet that was also level 18, and he also created a skill called Spinning Mana Bullet, Double Mana Bullet. All of them were 18. That's his skill for now, and he also got a skill called Running, which he used to run. And he also has the skill Low Energy Reserves and low energy reserves. That's from getting 50 on energy. After this he goes to the old lady and he said, "Hello." The ancient one looked at him with a reserve and she said, "Don't you realize that I, the Sorcerer Supreme, can sense how much you are powerful, and you are almost 10 times, if not more powerful than you were." Also said, "Didn't you do research on that so-called video games?" The Sorcerer Supreme said, "Of course, but I didn't expect you to become this strong this fast." She was thinking very fast. That ability of his denied every single bit of logic she learned in her entire life. And if she became evil, she didn't know if she could stop him. He literally could become stronger every time. So she said, "Well, out of the way. Why don't you start with learning the skill book?" Naruto was surprised. Yeah, his ability was bullshit, but this old hag got an entire library of skill books, and he said, "That's not fair. Yeah, my ability is bullshit and breaking the rules, but you can't possibly make an entire library of skill books in one fucking day. In 3 fucking days. Well, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme." Whatever. He goes into a book and he saw that he needed one more intelligence point to learn it. So he added one more intelligence point and he absorbed it. He gained the magic that Doctor Strange used, and he said, "Yeah, wow, that's a very good magic." And then he started conjuring projects. He conjured first a sword and stuff. He started doing melee attacks, getting it to level up. The Sorcerer Supreme was actually surprised by this. She said, "Very impressive ability. Very impressive ability. Now, learn this." He come to absorb it, but then she got it away and she said, I want to see your natural learning ability without the system." Naruto said, "Okay." Not sure why, but okay. He grabbed the book and started reading from it. After about a minute, he had the skill that called Portal. He said, "So it creates portals." And she said, surprised. "It almost took me 2 months to master this, to learn it. Damn, your ability is bullshit. Say the one who got an entire library in 3 fucking days. Whatever, kid." Now, you know that magic has weakness, don't you? Naruto said, "What weakness?" He said, "The magic wears down the user's body and makes it become weak." Naruto said, don't have such weakness. My magic is from my own, and it actually not weakens it. It actually being absorbed by it every time to make it regain its calm state and regain the growth with not feeling that much pain. Professor Supreme said with a blank face, almost jealous, and she said very, very, very quietly, I wonder why she had that bullshit ability. She shrugged it off and she said, well, and here, let's start training. First make your portal. Then he made a portal the size of his legs. And she said, not bad for a first try. Not bad. But that's your first try. It literally took me 1,554 tries to make it have the size. I said, well, I don't care. He did another one and then it was the size of him. It was now max. It was now level 2. He started spamming the portal to not caring about how much his mana is getting down. When his mana got to 0, he saw that the portal was level 5. He said, nice. After this he waited until it regenerated fully. He started spamming and spamming and spamming again until about 5 hours it was maxed. He said, fucking nice. Now, from the description it says I can teleport to places that I don't know. The Sorcerer Supreme raised an eyebrow. She said, places you don't know? Oh, okay. Then teleport to the dark dimension and tell me what you see. Just teleport there for a second, and don't you dare go for more than a second. He did so, and he saw that almost voidy texture with Dormammu in it, and Dormammu, before he could destroy him, he teleported away, and he said, what the fuck? Why did you send me into that almost voidy place with that giant ass head in it? The Sorcerer Supreme was surprised, and she said, an ability that defied all the shit I learned in my hundreds of years. I really need to get rest from you, kid. And then she used her astral projection to get her soul out of it, and she flew away. Then he said, what? You're not gonna make me learn that. The Sorcerer Supreme in her astral projection form just somehow threw at him a book, and she said, you are already too greedy for that. You learned 2 skills that took normal ones months, if not years, to learn, so go away. And we said, alright, why not? He then got away and he trained the magic of magic, and then after this he gained at least to the level 50, where he tried a new spell that came into his mind, and he said, Chains of Sidorak. After he did the magic circles, it came out Chain of Sidorak, Chains of Sidorak, and he said, so what is it ability? The system said, almost indestructible, can hold down very powerful opponent made of magic, and can be spammed if the user is strong and experienced enough in magic. Interesting. Naruto was greedy like any other people, But his greed wasn't gold or money, his greed was power. That power was the only thing he wanted. After this, he started meditating, getting the skill meditation to help his intelligence because it gives a boost. And then he goes into the ancient one who had her body now meditating, and he said, "Can I please get a book of martial arts?" She just threw the book at his face and she said, "Done. Now, will you be more greedy?" And Nut said, "Of course I will be. You know that my selfish is power." And she said, "Well, just don't use it for much of that. We mages here defend the world against interdimensional creatures, and if you want to help, then you should be pure. Everyone here has the pot of greed, but at least don't have a big one." And also said, "Don't worry, old hag. My only concern is power, and also the enemies will be very good XP." He chuckled at this and then he goes away. The the ancient one just sighed. That kid was troublesome. His ability to find anything she learned and witnessed. If he continued like that, it would be a problem for even Dormammu or Galactus. Even the Phoenix Force wouldn't be a match. And meanwhile was not. He was doing basic trainings and leveling up meditation, leveling up martial arts because it had the boost of making his because if leveled to max level, it can make his stats 300% stronger, and it can be more powerful if mixed together with something else. So he started training everything and everything until he got the confidence to do something. He said, "System, I want back my memories." System said, you can only get a few parts, since if you want all of your memories, your intelligence should be 2000. I'm not saying that your old self was omniscient or like that or stuff, but I'm saying that your brain won't handle all the memories that you got. Then Nant said, "Okay, let's just do it." When he said that, he felt a pain in his head. His head started bleeding. His brain wasn't like that or else. He started bleeding on his head. After this, the bleeding stopped. He felt the memories. He had the memories of himself left before the graduation exam, before he stole the secret scroll, meaning he stopped at the point he met Mizuki. He said, "So that's it, huh? In my old life I was like this." He grit his teeth and he said, "Pathetic. If I want to be like I want, then I shouldn't be like that idiot. I was an idiot, but I won't be now." And then he started running and exercise like was at maximum potential, killing zombies was at the maximum potential and actually unlocking a new dungeon and a skill called Observe. He observed a few things like houses, things, people. After this he came to the dungeon and he saw skeletons. He said, "What are these sack of bones are gonna do? They are bones. I bet they are not stronger than normal humans." But little did he know how wrong he was. The skeletons pounced at him with speed that could kill a boy, that could kill a human. And then he goes away and he said, "What the fuck?" He then started dodging and he said, "That's not what I expected. That's better." He then got one portal out and a portal in another place, and then the skeleton shot an arrow at his fellow skeleton. He smirked and he put a portal down that skeleton in his half, and the portal closed and it make the skeleton cut. He said, "I love portals." Then he did a lot of magic circles, and then a lot of chains of the rock were summoned, and it got all the enemies and they all died. After this he saw the Skeleton King think that he was a higher level than him. He just goes away saying, "Not today, Satan." But after this he sighed in relief, saying that he was still strong and worthy enough. So first of all, he put them in dexterity, and then he got to 50. It had the sign that was called the fastest car speed. You are now faster than the fastest car ever. Your speed, everything about your speed will be doubled. When he looked around with a new, and then his eyes started bleeding. Everything about him started bleeding. When he opened them, it was different. It was different, a lot different. He saw the attacks and he saw the world in slow motion. Well, he saw the world in slow motion when someone moved at him to attack him, and he saw that his reaction speed was way more. His moving speed and his creating speed of the magic circles were legendary. He saw that and he looked at his hand and he smiled. He spun his hand so fast that it merely created a very small wind thing, and he said, "Not bad." After this he came off and he then started adding it into strings. After this he saw his arms and everything about him started bleeding again, and then he saw the notification, "Pink muscle. Your entire body now works on pink muscles. It won't be weak. Everything in every muscle in your body are now perfect." not weak, not weak in any way. He looked at his body and he saw that it was true. The sensitive areas now were as strong as the normal strong areas, and the strong areas were the same. It was all perfect. Everything about him was now, all his muscles were now perfect. He looked at this and then he raised vitality and endurance. When he raised vitality, he got the notification. So, weak healing factor and enhanced durability. You can heal from injuries and diseases and anything at a supernatural rate. They add now plus 30% what 30% power health and 50% health regeneration, and endurance gives him this. Also gives him enhanced durability, which was mixed with the another, making it 60, and it also gives him stamina, enhanced stamina. No, well, and he said he looked at his body and he saw that it was now perfect. Then he saw that he had 2 stats that weren't like this. He then added the points to them, and when he did, he gained this from intelligence. It said genius level intelligence, the plus 30% mana, 30% mana understanding, can use mana without magic circles, and for wisdom it said genius level wisdom. Because of that, the genius level wisdom means that he had everything that the genius level intelligence could offer, but immunity and control and stuff. After that shit was done, Naruto now wanted to test out his new body. So he go to a training round. He saw Sasuke, but something was different about him. He was a fucking female. He said, what the hell? He is a female? Well, I should have expected that, because in my old life, I didn't have a sister, now I had. Meaning that things changed. Very good. Not very good. Because then I will have to endure her shit. The son looked up at him and she approached him and she said, hello, I didn't meet you. Not of surprise, and he said in his mind, is she really him? Of course it. She is. Who else has these onyx eyes? Well, let's see. What do I say? His female version is better than him in being good, so I should say something nice. At least try to act nice. He said trying his best to act nice, which she didn't see through. Hello. And she said, hello, and happy friends. He said, okay. And then And then she heard a voice yelling to saying, "So I come back, you failure. You piece of shit." She's answered, "Oh sorry, I should go there. My dad is calling." And then she goes away. But before she could go, Fuga came and he said, "So okay, what are you doing? Hanging out with a piece of shit like you?" Naruto was angry. He dared to call him a piece of shit. Naruto then twisted his arm and he said, "I'm not a piece of shit, you bastard." Fuga said in pain, "Alright, it looks like you aren't a piece of shit after all. Then why hang out with my failure piece of shit daughter?" And, you cannot see what's beyond failure." And he said, "Nothing makes sense. She's only a fucking failure. You can see what's behind, what's in her. Well anyways, come here my useless daughter. Go to my house. I wish at least you were for some day like Itachi." One she came with her knocked in his mind and said in his mind, "How sad. My new old friend is being harassed by her father." That doesn't look that bad. It doesn't really look that bad. Because I don't care. Well, yeah, I do. But I won't say it loud. I have my fucking pride. After this, he goes away. He handing in the stuff. And then he came the the ancient one and he said, "Old woman, please give me some shit. Please give me some useful shit." She smacked her usual shit-eating smack. She pointed at a library full of languages and he said, "Why do I need to learn languages?" She said with a shrug, "We sorcerers need to learn languages to interact with beings outside the universe to ask for help." Naruto said, "Okay." Then he started reading language and he thought it was way easier than before. He started reading it and he got a skill called language. And then he started for 10 hours after that and it was maxed and it evolved into the golden tongue. And then he said, "The golden tongue can write and speak in any language." This was the Supreme said, "Interesting. Then why don't you prove it?" Then she started speaking with him with languages that he shouldn't even know. Only the Sorcerer Supreme know and other universal beings know. He speaks in all of them and all of them. She said, "Your ability is bullshit. And you are bullshit. How can you know that stuff without being a gamer?" She said, "I have my ways." Naruto said, yeah, whatever. But let's just get into the next fucking shit. So, why do you want that shit? So why don't you want to teach me after this anything? And she said, "You already learned enough. Be happy with what you have. Didn't you create some skills already?" Naruto had a shit-eating grin and he said, "Of course, you idiot. I have created a shit ton. I've created at least 3 new skills. The skills are mana strengthening, mana enhancement, and finally Ma, no great explosion. I get all of my mana into a single cool spot where I explode with energy, killing anything nearby. I don't know the full extent, but I think at least it should be it should be at least from town level, if not the city level, from my mana reserves. It doesn't have a level. It doesn't have a level, it's maximum. You only need to add more mana to it to make it more powerful. The ancient one just had a headache and she said, "You and your troublesome ability, don't you see that as enough?" Not said, "Of course, fuck no. Why would it be enough?" She said, "Whatever, let's just go away." She said that Naruto started training his stuff in the outside world without letting anyone know. He then entered the mirror dimension, and then he started walking and training them, and he actually got the magic that he creates stuff with maximum. He didn't need magic circle control. He could spam it, and the cost was very, very fucking low. Almost one mana. Now pure 100 shit. So because of that shit, he started going and going, and then he noticed that the fight, it was Spider-Man versus Groot, a species of Groot. He was sent down to get humans to test on them. He looked at him and he observed him, and he saw that he was here to observe the humans, and he saw that his powers were cellular regeneration and planet manipulation. He said, "Damn, that's good. If I just can extract the DNA from this tree, then I would have a very good amount of shit." Then the system gave him ninja clothes, and he said, "What is that for?" He said, "Well, you don't want to show your identity to fighting this guy, don't you?" He said, "Fair point." Then he come out and he started helping Peter. Peter said, "Hey, Mr. Ninja Magic Man, and mind helping me?" Not said, "I'm already doing it, dude." Then, well, I have a plan. Distract him a little bit. Peter nodded and he then goes away. Naruto got out the katana. He strengthened it with mana, and then he goes and cut through Groot. Good shit, and he didn't actually regenerate, and then the thing yelled, "I am Groot." Naruto just put his hand on his mouth and he said, "Don't you dare swear, you fucking donkey." Peter said, "You understand his language?" Not said, "I understand every language." He said, "Fuck you all, and I will fucking take you humans to observe in planet XXX." Peter said, "What is that planet?" "I don't know." But then after this, Groot yelled, "I'm Groot." Then said, "Oh, and he's saying that he won't know my weakness is with fire." Peter said, "Won't you try use your fire magic or stuff?" Groot said, "Okay." He then tried converting mana into fire, which actually practically barely worked because of his good mana control, because he has very good energy control, because his energy control percent is 55%, and it's very fucking hard to control to get energy control plots. So he started burning down Groot until he reached only a sapling, and he said, well, that was easy. Peter said, well, it was for your help. Then the X-Men and the Fantastic Four came. All of them looked at these two young men, and then they all noticed that Naruto was 8. The Professor X said, a young child and 8 and fighting crimes. Naruto said, goodbye. And then he created a portal and teleported away. Peter just said, wow, Mr. Ninja Magic Man has a lot of power. He then created his weapon and goes away. When he landed on a building far away from there, Naruto appeared and he said, sub. He said, how did you know where I would go? Naruto shrugged and he said, 6 cents. He said, not really. You can't have 6 cents. Says Naruto just looked at him with a sweat and he said, dude, you have the 6 cents. Peter said, oh yeah. After this, Naruto said, well, anyways, do you know why I'm here? Peter said, no. Naruto said, well, I will tell you something. Do you want to know my ability? Peter said, well, you are Mr. Ninja Man. Naruto shocked and he said, nah, not really. I know magic, but I have a very deep ability, very powerful. So I will talk to you later. For now, if you want to come to me, just press that button that I give you and you will be in my house. But I warn you, don't go at 3 p.m. My sister will be awake. It was an okay. After this, no, Naruto came back and they started his more training and training. And then he goes to the ancient one and he said, yo. She just shrugged it off and say hi to him, and then she gave him the usual language book and he said, why do I have to learn this if I already know all languages? He said, well, you need to learn that because you will be fighting one of the sources now. He said, but I already got a title from being here. He said, what? Naruto just said, a title called Apprentice Sorcerer, 10% more chance of working with magic, 40% more chance with leveling up magic, and the most important one, 80% more proficiency when using magic. The Sorcerer Supreme, the Ancient One, just had a headache and she said, you are so troublesome to exist. Just go and fight someone. Naruto goes around and he saw the fair share of people. There was people and apprentice sorcerers. But then he saw a master of the mystic arts. He was called Mordo. And he said to Mordo, fight me. What is okay? And then he got out of the staff of the living tribunal. Naruto used to observe on that, but then as observed didn't work on it. And he said in his mind, what the hell is this shit? The system said it's created from it has the fraction of power from a very powerful being. Naruto was thinking about that and he said in his mind, maybe I can make more, though exchange this stuff with me later. After this, Singmodo started fighting Naruto, with Naruto having the advantage in the overall physical condition, but Naruto having the advantage in the knowledge of mystic arts. Even if Naruto mastered completely the magic that can conjure stuff, but Naruto was master of the overall mystic arts, so he was better. So he was better on the other stuff, but Naruto wasn't an easy opponent. He was tricky and the stuff, and he also could spam magic like it's no tomorrow, so it was tricky for Mordo to even defeat him. When Mordo defeated him, he just sat with Naruto and he said, you know, I am feeling like I'm gonna lose the title of the youngest source master of the mystic arts. Naruto said, well, I guess so. Naruto said, so you are just gonna go and finish missions and stuff and then go and finish your weird ID create dimension from these monsters? Naruto said, yup. You are too greedy for power. Yup. And you want more power and power. Yup. You know, I was like you. I wanted power for revenge. Naruto raised an eyebrow and said, so we are the same? Well, your revenge is about something simple. My revenge is about someone I loved and she betrayed me. Mother said, your life is too troublesome to be real anyways. Not that it can be real, but the power of it makes it very hard to believe even for the strongest of beings that it was real. And I already know that the old hag, who I considered the strongest one I saw yet had always headaches when I saw her, and I told her about it. But then Naruto had an idea and he said, you know what? I'm gonna ask her for elemental magic. Mordo just raised an arm and said, elemental magic? Do you mean that magic where you can control the elements? And said, yeah, that stuff. He said, I'm not so sure about that. Thor ignored him and he goes to the ancient one place and he said, I want to learn your elemental magic. The Sorcerer Supreme just looked at him with a shit-eating grin and she said, oh, kid, but elemental magic isn't something easy to learn. It needs very consistent control of mana and very good reserves. Naruto just looked at her and he laughed and then he made fire. She just got down and sighed and she said, why do you always win? Naruto said, because I have the overall advantage. Don't you see, old man? Don't you see, old man? The overall advantage is that I evolve way faster than anyone, and you don't, so that's my advantage. The the master of the mystic artist just looked at him like he was a cheater, and she said, "You really are a dirty cheater." Naruto tried to protect himself, and he said, "Well, but I worked for it. Don't you remember that my entire fucking body bleeds for 5 minutes every time I make it go to 50?" And then he goes into another strong defense like this. But also, in my old life, I didn't have that sort of abilities. I have to train a lot. But look at this. That Uchiha just go and got for power, and I had to do everything and anything, of type of pains just to get stronger. The Sorcerer Supreme looked at this and she nodded. After this, he just had given him the elemental magic book, which actually had the which actually had earth and lightning and ice magic. After this, he worked on mastering them all. Because of his extraordinary shit, he mastered all the magics in 1 week. 1 week of non-stopping training, which made all the sorcerers withdraw at his energy. He just looked at him and he said, "What? Didn't I told you that getting 50 for endurance gives you enhanced stamina?" The Sorcerer Supreme said, "That doesn't seem like enhanced stamina. That seems like superhuman stamina." And said, "Now, superhuman means that I can survive after months or years of non-sleep. But then I only survived for 7 days and I feel like shit." He then walked to his home with complete red eyes and his hair was like shit. When Romy saw him and she said, "Big brother, why is your hair like that? And why did you disappear for 7 days? And why is your eyes red?" He just patted them and said, "Do you know me? You don't want to know. I stayed awake for 7 fucking days. And my hair is like shit because I didn't stop training. And my eyes are red because I didn't even rest a fucking minute." Then he goes to sleep. He slept for 3 fucking days. After this, he started training and the original stats. First one he got was energy, and he got medium, and he got advanced reverse, advanced energy reserves. It had double, it had triple everything about his energy. So he just worked at the new work, and then he goes into the then he goes into that world again. And he said, "Hello, old woman." The Sorcerer Supreme looked at him and then she said, "Is it me or is your energy 100 times more than it was?" He said, "It isn't you. It really is 100 times more. I didn't. I slept for 3 fucking days and then trained like hardcore shit to get the last time good." And she said, I don't know if I can call you a cheater or not. From the look of your face, from your very tired face, I can't call you a cheater. He said, of course I'm not a cheater. And then he goes to more. Then he said, Mordau, I challenge you to a fight. And I said, what do you bring on the table this time? Naruto said, I have more in my old stats. All my stats are 70. Expect energy would have reached 100, giving me a new passive skill. What does smart? And he said, this would be interesting. And the battle was really intense. Both of them had very great shit. Mordo was the master of all mystic arts, while Naruto was the best one in the entire fucking Marvel multiverse in one art of it. So he was able to beat Mordo because of his overall advantage and over other shit. The other shits, because of the other shits trimming him up. Well, Mordo said, I have my suspicions were true. The youngest master of the mystic arts won't go to me anymore. After this, Naruto gained the title Master of the Mystic Art. Master of the Mist. He didn't. Well, he did. He thought he gained, but he didn't. He said, "What the fuck? Why isn't the title gained?" The system had a stupid ingredient. He said, do you think that the system will let you become the master because you defeated the master? No, no, no. You need to master all the... You need to reach at least expert in all the mystic arts to become a sorcerer, a master of the mystic arts. They said, damn you. Damn you, damn you, damn you, damn you. After this he goes away to the normal shit. And then he goes to school. He actually altered his age too much and was the other students. How did he alter his age? Because I did. I altered his age with using my powers. And then he goes along to other students after about a fucking week. He makes good friends with Nightcrawler and Jean Grey. And then after this he somehow came to the flower shop where he meets someone with blonde hair and with blue eyes. She was Emma Frost. He looked at her abilities and he saw her mutant abilities were telepathy, telekinesis, and her diamond form, and her crystal of choice form, where she is organic diamond. He looked at that form with a that part was interest. She could become organic diamond, she can move, and be as sweet as diamond. Interesting. He looked at that with interest, since he himself was nearly the soul, he himself was nearly the durability of diamond, but he really didn't reach it yet. She looked at him and she said, want to buy anything? He said, oh yeah, soil for that planet. He said, for this planet. He got a root of the Groot he defeated. Emma Frost was confused. She didn't see any root of planet like this. She looked at it and said, That's a very mysterious and nice route. It will make it it will be the most expensive soil to stay alive. Not since okay, take that. After this, Emma Frost said to Red, why don't you save me? He said, oh, what? He said, you know about that. He said, well, why would I need that? I don't even need that. I only need shit about it. I don't give a shit about it. You're only a stranger to me. And I don't know you anyways. She said, but please help me. He said, and why? He said, a fellow mutant for another mutant to help him. He said, shrugging it off like a badass, and he said, first of all, I'm not a mutant, I'm from another world. Second of all, I have mysterious power that is stronger than any mutant type. If only I had the time, I can defeat any mutant. Third of all, why should I? She said, I will pay you any type of money. He said, I don't give a shit about money. Then she said, I will make you the happiest man in the world. Naruto looked at her for a moment before he said in his mind, what? I can't just make a girl make out with me because of that shit. I don't even fucking want her to make out with me. He said, nah, I don't give a shit about women either. And she said, please help me. Naruto felt a little part of his old self in her. So he said, fine, what kind of help do you need? She said, I'm a runaway hire of a thing, and if you help, and please help me, that organization is gonna kill me, and return me to my, is gonna kill me or experiment on me or return me back. He said, interested, and he said, continue please. She said, I'm a runaway hires from a very big company. I heard that one of them was gonna clone a lot of superheroes to his advantage, and he also cloned the DNA of a lot of superheroes in him, making him way stronger than he was. Well, this isn't true. I just make her say the plan of someone called Nexus. Naruto said, interesting. If I captured that guy and killed him, then I can take the DNA of these heroes and throw them away. Why do you want them anyways? She said confused. I said, personal reasons. Since for my personal reasons, you won't understand. I need these DNAs to make myself become stronger. She said, okay, I will tell you the place. After that she told him the place, and then he started slaughtering everyone there, and there, until he reached that person. He saw that he had multiple powers, and that he had DNA of Jean Green. He actually was kinda angry, because even if it wasn't like that, they were still friends. So he added the things. So he added all to his stats, making it all become 100, making him have superhuman muscles and strength because of strength. Super Superhuman durability and superhuman regeneration, superhuman durability and superhuman stamina, superhuman speed and per- superhuman perception and everything about speed, and so for intelligence it got into superhuman intelligence, and after that shit, it was superhuman wisdom. After this, he looked at us with a smirk and he said, "Very fucking wonderful." Next, I looked at him confused and he said, "What are you looking at?" Not said, nothing, it's just my ability. My life is a game. Next had a very wide smile on his face and he said, "That will be a very good ability to have in my arsenal." No, the Taurus said, "You will have it if you kill me in my cold dead breath." He then goes and started fighting with Nick, and his other clone came to stop Naruto, but he actually had an idea for that. He used something he didn't. He used telekinesis that he gained from training from the skeleton boss loot. After using the telekinesis that he gained, and that was already maxed, making him able to lift any sick with that, he started going Megalovania on that guy. He pushed him against anything that was in the company, and then he put him all and his clone in place. He then got his hand out, and then he did a Dark Vader style and started choking him into death. Emma, Emma, who was watching this, was actually happy because he was gonna die. But after this, him and all his clones died. He flew them away into outside of the universe, making them all die. And after this, he goes and goes into the DNA bars. He looked at all of them and he said, "That is very beautiful. The definition of most very beautiful things." He grabbed them and then drank them. He grabbed one and then drank it. It was the one of Jean Grey. He gained the telekinesis and telepathy. I already had telekinesis maxed, so I didn't make any shit, but telepathy